Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video of Paper Sharps. Here we are with the last review of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this little extra new thing I did, and I'm really curious to know what you guys thought about it. Leave a comment down below. Any criticism is appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm opening this review with something most popular reviewers never do. I am not a huge Harry Potter fan. I did not grow up with it. I did not have gazillion Harry Potter memorabilia, which I'm still fond of. I've only seen the first 3 movies completely, the 5th one only for the second half on TV, and a part 2 of another movie whose name I forgot with friends just for social fun. I've also never read any of the Harry Potter books. Why the hell would you listen to me for a review for this movie? Well, if you stick around for a little bit longer, I'll tell you why. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is not your typical Harry Potter movie. In fact, name dropping to the original franchise is kept to a bare minimum, which I think needs to be applauded. The director David Yates and J.K. Rowling's writing really went the extra mile in setting up a new franchise with a new cast and a new atmosphere despite being set in the same universe as Harry Potter. It also helps that the movie takes place in 1926, many years before Harry Potter. As I was told by a good friend of mine, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a book that reads like an encyclopedia. You can see this during the movie as some of these beasts are on the loose in New York City, and thus the main character Newt and his crew chase them down in many weird ways. More encyclopedic moments are shown when Newt takes care of his magical critters in his safari suitcase, which looks surprisingly comfy when they actually go in there. All in all, I was surprised how they managed to get an encyclopedic element integrated into the movie without it becoming boring, repetitive, or simply shoehorned in. It felt like Harry Potter should feel magical and engaging and making you want to see this beast for yourself in real life. But of course, there's more than simply magical animals and their random quirks running around. There's a narrative to this movie. Set in 1926, the movie has vibes of the jazzy era as well as the time of Prohibition and the calm between 2 world wars. The figure of Grindelwald is mentioned, and it seems to resemble a figure who is out to bring back glory to wizardry, take them out of the shadow, and wanting a conflict between wizards and no-mages. No-mages are simply humans without magic, so yeah, humans. The quite radical MACUSA, which stands for Magical Congress of the United States of America, is extremely strict on magic being shown in the public, and they do not allow marriage between no-mages and wizards, which 2 characters in the movie seem to oppose during the development of the movie, which also carries strong similarities to the idea of prohibition. It is all of these set pieces that make sure that the whole movie stands completely on its own feet besides its roots in the Harry Potter universe. Where does Newt come into though? Newt is thrown into the narrative as his magical beasts escape and he switches suitcases with the amazing Kowalski. More on him later, don't worry. Which leads to him being detained by the demoted MACUSA auror Tina Goldstein. Some more revelations later, it turns out there's an Obscurus on the loose in New York City, which is a dark destructive force manifested by young magical children who suppress their magical powers. The story perfectly combines with the 20s era and brings a unique start to a new franchise, which I am very, very interested in continuing, despite my personal lack of knowledge of the Harry Potter universe.
It's a useless waste of time. I don't care what's on your mind. The truth was never for us to find.
Before we go to Kowalski, I need to address the amazing acting of Eddie Redmayne though, which you might know as Stephen Hawking from The Theory of Everything. Despite some people saying he still talked as weirdly as his Hawking role, for me, he was Newt Scamander, for real. And that might seem strange coming from someone who saw him for the very first time, but believe me if I say that Redmayne lived, breathed and acted as an eccentric man who truly loves all the weird and exotic animals he collects. He's awkward, he's introverted, he can be incredibly annoying at times, much like a good friend of mine, but he's also charismatic, has a heart of gold, and is incredibly knowledgeable and full of experience when it comes to his field of wizardry and exotic animals. That makes up for it, doesn't it, good friend of mine? Although, it makes me wonder if you're a wizard. Whatever.
We could lock horns all day.
Then we get to the new meme Kowalski. Don't get me wrong here. Colin Farrell was badass as the illustrious Graves and was a really creepy bad guy. Catherine Waterston and Samantha Morton were really interesting sisters with their respective quirks. Ezra Miller played Credence amazingly with his almost satanic vibes of creepy edginess going on, but the star of the movie for me, and for many, was the amazing Kowalski. The no-mash who runs into Newt and dreams of starting a bakery is thrown into the world of wizardry and has absolutely no idea what's going on. He's the comic relief we need, and at the same time standing for the audience, reacting to all the weird shit happening, wondering what the hell he's all seeing. He's the guy who does the weird giggle after drinking giggly water and makes you want to get that shit for a cool party. And he's the guy you grow to love and which makes you sad at the end when things happen that you don't want to see happen, despite knowing it's needed to happen. Kowalski was my favorite part of the whole damn movie. Was there nothing wrong with the movie then? Don't get me wrong. Despite all the praise for the first movie in the Fantastic Beasts universe, there were definitely some flaws that need addressing. For one, the whole villain reveal did not quite work for me. It might have been an obvious setup for future movies, but when it happened I wasn't really feeling anything. I just shrugged and thought to myself, okay, so I guess we'll see him back next time, whatever. The other reveal that did not really blow me away was the reveal of who was carrying the Obscurus. The movie focuses on someone who might be carrying it, and it felt just a little bit too obvious for me. Combine that with the knowledge Newt drops about Obscuruses, I felt the answer was not the obvious one. This is mostly a personal point though, since I heard many people who didn't catch this at all and were caught off guard when the Obscurus reveal finally hit. In the end, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a great time in the cinema for Harry Potter fans, people who just jumped to the universe, because the movie stands firmly on its own feet with its own 20s atmosphere, thematic similarities to real-life New York from the 20s, and its amazing cast of characters. The movie story is not perfect, far from it, but certainly worth the watch due to its strong integration with the 20s city the narrative is built in. But most importantly, the movie is definitely worth the watch due to its magical roots and making you, as a viewer, feel like a child again whose imagination is running rampant and making you want to join this mysterious world. Maybe I should jump into the old Harry Potter movies and books sometimes after all. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them gets 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. Hey, what's up guys and girls, I hope you had a jolly good time with 3 movie reviews this week, a little bit more content than usual, isn't that something? It was a little bit of an experiment, so I would love to know what you guys thought. If you want to see more of this, then don't forget to click a like. If you really liked this shit you saw, you're here for the first time, click subscribe. I was Paper Sharps, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.